All right, thank you, Ross. Good to see everybody. This is game week finally. It's a fun time of year. We're certainly ready to kick it off and get back out on the field. We actually went out under the lights last night, which was pretty cool. Preparing for an 8 o'clock kick, but we've had really good camp, good game prep. It's just kind of there's only so far you can get without going and playing a game, and that's the next step for us is playing an opponent, and then kind of figuring out where we are. I'm excited to see us play and see what we need to do to improve, and that's really our focus is to just get better, one week at a time, one day at a time. I mean, that's really just that simple. This is a team that whatever happens Thursday night, we're going to have a lot of work to do. You can believe that. We got a long way to go, but you got to start somewhere. And so this is a great opportunity for us, certainly to be at home. And but at the end of the day, it's just one of 12, and we got to try to accomplish our first goal, which is to win the opener. It's not going to be easy. This is an ACC game. Be quite honest with you, we don't know a whole lot about Georgia Tech. Openers are really tough. They always are tough because we have more time to prepare for this one game than any game that we ever play, because this has been looming for a long time now. All summer long you're thinking about, your opener and all that goes into getting a new team ready to go play, because we got a lot of new pieces. We've got a little over 40 people on the team that were not on the team last year. So we got a lot of guys that are getting their first experience to Clemson, and then we got a lot of new roles, guys that were on the team, but now they have completely different roles or more significant roles. DK played wideout last year. He's playing corner. So there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of things that you got to cover to just get ready for the first game and to kind of get in the rhythm of the season. Right now there's really no rhythm. It's just a lot of preparation going into this first game. But openers are always tough, and then you throw in the fact that you're playing an ACC opponent like Georgia Tech, who's got good players, number one, and then number two, it's a whole new staff. That's a challenge, because we know a lot about Temple, but we're not playing Temple. Like last year, we're going to play Texas A&M, and we're studying Florida State and Notre Dame. So it's just a challenge. There's just always lots of unknowns. So there's going to be some moments in the game where we got to figure it out and figure out. Same thing for them. They know a lot more about Clemson than we know about them. So I'd say that's an advantage definitely for them. But we've got to see what the plan is going to be, make the adjustments, and go from there. But that's exciting. It's fun. But it is a challenge for sure because, again, there's just a lot of unknowns going into this game for us, both personnel-wise and certainly schematically. Again, not only is it a coaching change, but you have a complete philosophy change. So you can't even watch tape and really get a good feel for their personnel on the offensive side. So this is a unique matchup, but we're really excited about it. And ready to get this thing going. Injury-wise, we're in a good spot. We're going to be full pads today, so we got one more good-on-good type practice, and then tomorrow will be like a Thursday for us. So knock on wood, there we're in a pretty good spot. Only guys that are out are Amari and Constantine, who Constantine's been out all camp. Amari is doing great, looks awesome, and is really, made drastic improvements and doing a lot of stuff in practice. So feel good about his progress, but definitely will be out this week for sure. Only other thing team-wise is Logan Cash, who y'all know was going to be out this year and had surgery, but he has decided to withdraw from school and move on. So not real sure what his plan is, other than he just has decided he wants to withdraw from school and move on. So wish him all the best for sure. But for us, again, special time. Everything we do builds to this moment. Everything we do builds to this moment. We started in here last January with a new team and kind of resetting the room and reinstalling the program and so forth. And now here we are. Everything from that point builds to this moment. So it's exciting. It's a lot of guys that are really pumped up and ready to go and kick this thing off and really appreciate our fans. I know it's going to be an unbelievable environment in the Valley. We don't get many of these Thursday opportunities. I remember when I got the job, everybody was talking about we always lost on Thursday nights. And I'm like, how many of them have been at home? We've been able to change that a little bit. But usually when we play on Thursdays, it's on the road. So this is a unique opportunity for Clemson to play on a Thursday night and to kick off this ACC network. I think that is huge for our league, and to have the honor to be the first game on it is a big deal. And I know our fans are going to show up and have us a great atmosphere to play in Thursday night. So with that, I'll take your questions and we'll move on.
Did you see Georgia Tech's above the line depth chart?
Yeah, we've looked at all that stuff, and again, it's just kind of a lot of unknowns. They got a lot of guys above the line, and they got good players. They got a lot of guys they feel good about.
Coach, have you seen Trevor improve in the few areas that you were hoping, such as his running and extending plays with his legs?
Oh yeah. Trevor's had an awesome camp. Unbelievable camp. If he'll just continue to do what he's done in practice and just take it to game day, he's going to be a great leader for us out on the field. He's really worked very hard in all areas that we challenged him in, and now it's go take it to game day.
What are you looking for from these young D linemen as y'all sort of make those final decisions there?
Let's see where they are. We're going to play a bunch of guys. Be quite honest with you, we got a couple spots. I don't even know who's going to run out there first because we still got a couple more days of practice and meetings and so forth. We have a rule. I have a rule that we've had in place ever since I've been a head coach. Once we start game prep on Fridays, if you're late to anything, if you're a minute late to a pregame, you don't start. It don't matter if you're Trevor Lawrence or whoever else. So we don't. It's a business trip every week. We don't have a lot of nonsense. I think Mitch Hyatt started every game in his career but one. As he was about 5 minutes late to a pregame meal. So that's just kind of who we are and the way we do things. So we still got a lot to do. We got practices left. We got meetings. We got a lot of things. But I do know this: we're going to play a lot of guys. We got a bunch of guys that I think we're just kind of it's just like a big old pack, and they're all doing great. I love those guys. They all bring something to the table. Man, Xavier Thomas, that guy's he's a special talent, but he's got to be a down in, down out special player, not just a special talent. He's really made a ton of progress in camp. Justin Foster, he's just an old salty dog, man. He's just steady. You can just count on him. He's tough. He's got, that's our two most experienced guys. Logan Rudolph, oh my Lord. Nobody's game planning for Logan Rudolph. Nobody knows who he is, but you will. That guy's a football player. He is a football player, and so they just got to go do it. And then KJ's as talented a guy as we got on the roster. And he's a totally different guy than he was this time last year, just weak and trying to run out there and be an athlete. He has really improved in all areas. Same thing with Maskell, tough, heavy-handed, physical guy, but really hasn't played much. He's still got a lot to learn. So I think we've got an excellent group, and so those five guys is kind of where it starts at DN for us. And so all of them going to play. Does somebody separate as we get into the games? I don't know. I think they can all really be factors for us. And then, same thing inside at D tackle. Right now, Niles and Jordan and Tyler have kind of separated a little bit. Those three guys have created some separation and have done a great job. Really feel good about those three, and that's pretty impressive for a guy like Tyler Davis. Now he's been here since January, but he's one of those guys that's just kind of gotten it and to the point that now you're kind of throwing him in there with Niles and Jordan, and all three of those guys are guys that I think are ready to go play. But Tyler hadn't taken a college snap yet. But we love what we've seen in practice, so that's all we can go by. And then really pleased with Xavier Kelly and Darnell Jeffries. Really pleased with him. Rook's probably that next guy, so feel good about that group. But we just gotta go play. I mean, it's like we're changing a lot of diapers. It's like when babies are born, they don't just know how to go to the bathroom, right? And they don't know how to walk. They crawl. We got to kind of help them along, and then we'll figure it out. Eventually, they'll be potty trained and they can walk, but some walk sooner than others, right? So I think we got a talented group, and we just got to go play and figure it out from there.
Yeah, well, you talked a couple times about, the leadership factor on defense with, all the D linemen who left and things like that. You wanted to see some of that develop. Have you seen some of that develop over camp?
Yeah, I have. Even from the young guys. Those guys are, I always tell them, you don't have to be a senior to be a leader, to buy in, to go above and beyond, and to be detailed and so forth. And I've seen that from a bunch of those guys. It's just been a good group. Justin has that kind of that one, I guess he's a junior, veteran of the DN group, has really done a good job. And he's a quiet guy, but he's been about his business. Logan, same thing. And, KJ is one of those guys that's got all kind of personality, and has really worked hard, and he's not afraid to lead. Xavier's a guy that's kind of new to him too. It's just kind of, they're all right there in that same deal. Maskell, he's just kind of getting in line. But I think Niles has done an excellent job. I really do. I think he's done an excellent job. Jordan, this summer, meeting with guys. They've done a lot of prep work with guys. And then, Tyler's one of those kids that it's just very natural for him. He's one of those, you just watch him work, and you just can't help but be inspired by where he is as a young player. So leadership has been good. We just don't have any, alpha dogs up there right now. That's coming, but they're just all in a group. But they're pushing each other. Our strength will be in numbers, and that's not a bad thing. And then at linebacker, we've got outstanding leadership there. Same thing on the back end.
On your offensive line, Coach, you've got a lot of experience this year. What's Jackson Carman doing right now as far as coming along? Have you seen him progress like you want him to so far? Yeah,
he's been amazing. As I told y'all sometime here not too long ago, if I had to just pick a couple of most improved guys, especially offensively, it'd be Jalen Lay and Jackson Carman. Jackson is just it's amazing how far he's come. And he was a good player last year, but just where he is as a person, his maturity, his overall understanding of what he has to do to be great at this level. His body, he's strong. He's transformed from this time last year, and still got a long way to go, a lot of work to do. But he has been very steady. He's had a great camp. I'm excited about his opportunity, and he is, clearly positioned himself to jump in that group. He's one of the smartest guys we got too. He has a very high football IQ. And again, you're talking about a true sophomore. But the whole key up front is communication, and we're really fortunate because we got a good group of experience there, and those guys they do a great job of communicating. It's survival every day you go out on that field, going against our defense and all the different looks that we see and pressures and so forth. And, Jackson's done an awesome job, just really sometimes the communication starts outside in. It's not always inside out. And he's one of the smarter guys that we have.
I guess you guys are preparing for 2 or 3 quarterbacks this week.
Yeah, we're just getting ready for what we think they may do schematically. And there's a lot. I think they even opened up under the center in the triple option in their spring game. So who knows? We really don't know. We think we know, but it's it's just a lot of unknowns. They got good players. I tell you, the quarterback's a impressive guy. We don't have hardly any tape on him. They got, you don't have a lot of tape of guys catching a lot of balls, but yet you got some size. They brought in a little freshman who can run. You go back and look at some tape on the transfer tight end. He's an impressive talent. So they got some guys, and they got a bunch of veterans in that offensive line. I think they've only got maybe one freshman, and they're too deep. So they've got some guys that have played a lot of football. And I know, they probably hadn't. That's a different offense, but these are scholarship ACC players. So there's a lot that we got to prepare for, and it'll be a challenge for us as we get into the game and really identify exactly what's the plan, and then make the proper adjustments. And same thing defensively. The key is communication. I mean, and they move a lot. There's a lot of movement, a lot of jet sweeps, and so we just the pre-snap communication for us defensively is going to be huge.
What are the characteristics, whether it's a guy like Tyler or Joseph, what are the characteristics that need to be present for a player to distinguish himself as a true freshman to be able to play right away?
Well, obviously the physical ability to do the job. We've had a lot of good players that left here as great players, but they weren't physically capable as a true freshman. Just had to develop. We've had a lot of those guys. So the physical part of it first. The second part is just mentally being able to execute, being able to absorb everything, and that's hard. That's really hard. Sometimes we've had guys that are physically ready, physically fit the bill, but mentally they just can't get it, So it works both ways. But so the mental and physical makeup of that person is really what's going to dictate that, and then opportunity as well.
Yeah. What did Luke Price do to get himself in position where he's not only going to help you out, but he's going to be right there underneath JC?
Yeah, well, he's first of all, he's tough. He's physical. He's strong. I mean, he's one of the strongest kids on this team, pound for pound. I mean, it's unbelievable how strong that guy is. He was just a guy. I moved him last spring. I just felt like it would be a better opportunity for him. I didn't really see him playing much linebacker for us. He probably would have been a special teams factor. But I just felt like I knew our situation at tight end, and I was like, you know what? Let's just look at this kid and see how it translates. And he's really smart. He's really smart. I mean, he's a natural football player. He understands the game. He understands defense, and that's helped him. Our tight end position is a tough position to learn and to be able to go execute. But him playing defense, I think, has helped him a little bit. But he's just one of them blue collar guys that grinds and loves it, and has worked his tail off to learn the position. Catching the ball comes pretty natural to him. It's not. That was a easy transition. I didn't know how he would catch the ball. That's been pretty natural. So he's just gone to work, man, and he's done a great job. He's made himself a factor. I mean, he's a solid player. He's wish he was a little bigger, but he plays big. I've had some guys big that they don't play that big. But he'll play like a 250-pounder out there. Because he's explosive with his power and his strength, and he's a factor. But he's a really smart dude, and we're really glad we got him, put him on scholarship, and thankful that he's here. He's going to help us, and I can't say enough about Jalen Lay and Davis Allen. Those two kids are coming, and I'm really excited about both of those guys and what I've seen. And the progression of Jalen is amazing. From where he was. And then Davis Allen, he's just natural. And I've seen in practice what I hoped I would see. He's a tough kid, played linebacker, three-sport athlete. Football comes easy to him. But he's even though he missed a lot of early practice, mentally he's very engaged the whole way, to where when all of a sudden now he's getting those live reps, he was able to go right out and function. And that's impressive. for a young guy. So just a very mature kid. Both of them got great size, and so we got those four, and then we got J.L. Banks, who's a senior and another tough kid that be able to serve a role for us too.
Coach, one of the few things we haven't talked about in the last month is Terry Bowden helping you out as a graduate assistant. How has your relationship grown with him, and what does he bring to the table just from a football acumen?
I mean, he's literally a grad intern, so it's been good having him around. I mean, nice guy. I've known him a long time. Obviously known the Bowden family, and I mean, he doesn't say a whole lot. He just comes in and works whatever we ask him to do, and so I think he's really enjoyed it, and looking forward to being a part of this team.
Dabo, when you guys kicked off fall camp, Robbie Caldwell had a lot of great things to say about the offseason work of Jordan McFadden. Did he kind of continue that progression throughout this last month?
Absolutely. Jordan is got a bright future, a very bright future. He is an incredibly talented player, going to play a lot. Trust him, play him either side, play him left, play him right. I mean, he's a key guy for us, for sure. We feel good about our OL. We'll probably play 9-10 guys a game, maybe 11, just depending on situation. But I feel good. I think we got 11 and a half guys right now that I think are very functional up front, and that's a good thing.
Last year, your word of the year was joy and finding joy in the moment. What's your word for this year?
My word is purpose, and something I always share that with the team on opening night. So something we talked about, I guess, back July the 30th or 31st, whenever we started there. But my word is purpose this year. My purpose as a man, my purpose as a father, my purpose as a husband, and then, our purpose as a program, and then also, helping my staff and my players, find and fulfill their purpose. So, just really convicted on that. I mean, we've had a lot of success. I'm going into year 11, but we've stayed true to who we are the whole way. And for me, again, my purpose as a man, I know what my purpose as a man is, and that's to glorify God, that's to be a great husband and father, and it's to use the game of football to, equip young people for life. I mean, that's just that simple. That's what my purpose as a man is. Our purpose as a program is to graduate our players, to give them the tools that they need to go be successful, to make sure they have a good experience, and to win a championship. And that has not changed since day one. It's been the same. It's been the exact same, and everything is centered and driven by that. And then again, doing everything with purpose. Working hard to help my players and help my staff. Fulfill their purpose, find their purpose in life. We're going to have a big presentation in here today with Jalen Williams. I think we've got 97%. Job placement from last year's senior group, and that's awesome. I think Travion's the only one right now, and he's rehabbing and trying to work his way back from his injury. But everybody else, but Jalen is we're going to do a big thing in our team here today, and that's a big deal for us. And so just keeping the main thing. Again, my purpose as a man, our purpose as a program, and just staying focused on that. And that's inside out, and not getting distracted, by things that don't matter.
Coach, have you seen the ACC Network yet since it debuted, and what do you see as its advantages to both Clemson and the conference?
Yeah, I actually, to be honest with you, I just saw it last night for the first time, and I got home late last night, and Eric Mac Lain was on. I think they call it the huddle, and I thought Mark Richt was great. He was funny, and I thought it was really good. EJ, I got to meet him. Man, what a class! He's just a very sharp guy. He got a great presence to him. I don't know the other guy, but I'm sure I'll meet him at some point. But I thought that was great. I mean, So what does it do? Well, I mean, heck, it's got people sitting around talking about the ACC all day, every day, and it gives us a channel. It gives us, I mean, we've had the SEC Network for a few years, and, you know, they sit around and talk about the SEC all the time. Everybody gets mad because sometimes, I guess, you know, certain people out there say bad things about the ACC. I'm like, well, look, that's like, they work for the Yankees. They're not going to talk great about the Red Sox. It doesn't work that way, you know? So, or vice versa. They work for the Red Sox. They ain't going to talk good about the Yankees. That's just so to be able to have a network that's just constantly, you know, talking about the ACC, not only talking about the ACC, but promoting our league, giving all of our teams a platform from men and women's sports. I mean, all day, every day. We've not had that. We've not had that, and we've still been pretty good. We've been pretty good around here. But now we do. And to me, that's a game changer. It's a game changer. The content, the brand awareness, and then also, you know, the rhetoric. You know, we live in this rhetoric world. Now the ACC has their own channel and their own people. I think they're hiring like 100 people or something like that that'll sit around and talk about our league every single day. And I think that's a great thing. I'm sure they'll have all kind of different cool content throughout the year from all the different teams and really just, again, promote our league in a positive way. And so I'm excited about it. I mean, it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Who's the
Dabo, what's it been like these last couple of years, particularly having so many coaches reach out and want to pick your brain, from young up-and-coming college coaches to, you know, prominent coaches in the NBA?
It's good. I mean, I love that, because anytime I get an opportunity to talk to somebody, I'm always trying to learn. I mean, I don't have all the answers. I mean, I know what we try to do, and I love the fact that we can, you know, maybe help other people by how we do things here, and maybe be a good example, a good model to help other people, to help other players at different places that I may never meet. I think that's great. But I love learning from other folks, so it gives me opportunity and gives our staff opportunities to grow, because that's what it's all about. It's always about getting better. It's always about improving and just seeking new knowledge and sharing ideas. And football coaches do that all the time. That's one of the unique things about our profession. I always joke, you know, when I go and speak at these clinics, you know, I don't think Coke ever goes and meets with Pepsi. I don't think. You know, they don't like get together and go, okay, well, let's just talk about the year. You know, I don't think Nike sits down with Adidas and collaborate, but football coaches do that, and I think that's one of the cool things about our profession. Is and that's gives them, and then not only just football coaches, but coaches in general. I mean, I learn from everyone across all kind of different sports, and then also just business people, people that have been successful out in the world and get an opportunity to share different things. So I mean, I love that, but at the end of the day, I mean, again, it's I mean, you can sit down and talk to someone about, hey, this is what we do or whatever, but it still comes back to the people doing it, you know, and the intentions of the people doing it. It still comes down to that. That's still, you know, what you know, to me, what makes our place special.
When you sit down with Nick Nurse or Joe Madden or one of those guys, and obviously they're coaching different sports, but I'm sure they're talking to you about coaching, how do you explain your philosophy? Like, what is when they say, hey, Dabo, tell me how you do it, how do you explain that to them? Yeah, well, I mean, those are easy conversations because we're dealing with people. It doesn't matter what the sport is. I mean, yeah, I mean, we're not going to sit around and talk about cover three, you know, although I'm always interested in some of their pitch philosophy or, you know, certain defense, and I'm still fascinated by all these shifts and the analytics of all that stuff, and I'm always like, just bunt the ball. Like, there's nobody over there. Why do we have to not bunt the ball? You know, we had this great conversation with Joe Madden about that. So, yeah, we'll get into some of that stuff, but those are easy conversations because, again, you're dealing with people, and you're dealing with team, and you're dealing with you know, challenges that happen within a team and competition at a high level. You know, your motivation, leadership, those type of things, how you respond to certain things. So those are easy conversations to have.
Coach, everybody.
Is Ladson totally back the?
Yeah, it's good to go.
You've been able to see the benefits already from that, from procedure he had?
Oh, yeah. He was just, like I said, he just had an irritation there and just needed to clean it up. Same thing Christian had before the season last year. No, he's been good.
Coach, everybody's excited about seeing all these transfer quarterbacks, including 2 of your former players. How much of a luxury is it this day and age to have a proven backup like Chase Brice, and not just in case Trevor gets hurt, but also at practice, developing your young wide receivers?
Well, it sure beats not having that. That's for sure. So it's great. Chase is a great player. He'd probably be starting at 100 plus schools out there. I mean, he's a really good player, and a guy we have a lot of confidence in, and have zero issues of putting him in the game at any point. He can play, and then I'm really proud of Tyson and Ben and the camps that they've had. Those guys have made tons of progress, and I think we're in a really good spot, at that position today.
Dabo, this weekend, there was. How did the nerves and the adrenaline of a season opener compare to games throughout the season?
I think you always have great adrenaline and just certain vibes that come with every game, but the opener is usually a little different because it's just been a while and there's so much newness. I think, there's kind of like a rhythm, a season rhythm, a battle rhythm, if you will, as you get going, and it just becomes okay, this is our Monday, this is our Tuesday, this is our Wednesday, this is our Thursday, this is what we do on Friday, and there's just a confidence that comes from that. The opener, especially with all the unknowns, so many new people, a lot of first-time guys, there's usually a little bit more, maybe anxiety is the word. It's been a while since we've been down the hill. I'm just hoping we don't fall doing that, or I don't fall. But I think once you kind of get into the flow of the season, it becomes a little easier. But the adrenaline of the game and the moment, to me, that's always there. Because you only get 12 of them, and especially here at home, you only get 7 of those opportunities. It's special.
Along those lines, this weekend there's a lot of Miami, Florida chit chat about the maybe over aggressiveness or lack of discipline and the level of play a little sloppy. I think Hawaii won and they turned it over 6 times. As a coach, how much of that do you expect? Tolerate is probably not the right word, but how much of that are you willing to deal with given some of those issues in a first game?
Oh, I don't expect anything other than for us to play well. That's what I expect. Us to play well. Let's play tough. Let's play fast. Let's look like we've practiced. I know that. The game's not perfect. I've never had any. We don't grade 100% as a coach or a player, but we have a winning performance, and that's what we focus on. And there's certain things, core values that I want to see. There's going to be mistakes. There's certain things, but we can learn. From we're fortunate we were able to kind of watch some games, and I think both sides. There's some positives and some negatives. Certainly had a lot. I had a whole page, 3 pages worth of stuff from that Florida Miami game. Oh my Lord, that was a crazy game. I might just quit if we get in a situation like that. It was balls all over the ground. It was just not a clean game, But you got young quarterbacks. It's just a different deal. Neutral site, a lot of dynamics there. Really early in the season. I just want us to play, Clemson football, the way we expect to play the game. If it's good enough to win, great. If not, no matter what happens, we're gonna go get better. Get 12 games, So just trying to focus on playing well, and then the flip side of it, I love that Hawaii game. I wasn't awake, but I saw it the next day, and I just showed one play, and it was the last play, and there's no way on earth that D tackle is going to make that play, but he believed. And he's 100%, he's full speed, he's rushing, and he turns and he's running, he takes an angle, and because the kid has to cut back, and he's going to score. But that D tackle, if he's not given that type of relentless effort, they lose the game. And if you go back and look at it, there's another, I guess it was a D tackle or DN. He's kind of doing that lazy jog, like, well, I can't get him. And he takes a bad angle, So you got good examples. I love coaching off stuff like that with my team. But I just think that is, and then they win by that much. Because that D tackle, who was out of the play behind the guy, he can't catch that guy. But because he just was busting and giving everything he had, and all of a sudden he had to cut back, he was there. And it would have been very easy for him to just kind of, do that jog, that jog that I call him out, like, that jog where I go, okay, I better keep moving because Coach Swinney's going to call me out in the Monday meeting, so I better keep moving, as opposed to full speed, believing. And so it was some good stuff to teach from, too, on both sides in both games. But certainly plenty of bad that we can apply. I think we all learn from our own mistakes, right? And we do that. We'll come in, we'll grade. We'll have a mental Monday where I meet with the whole team, we get our mind right, and we talk about, effort's a big thing with me. And so we'll go through that every Monday, a little accountability meeting. So we're going to learn from our own mistakes, and we will make mistakes, coaches and players. But, man, it's a lot better when you can learn from other people's mistakes. That's what we try to do.
What's involved in a mental Monday? What's the process?
Mental Monday for us, well, it's a little different this week simply because we'll come in on Saturday because we're playing on Thursday, so we've got an extra day. They'll be off on Friday. They'll come in on Saturday, and then our normal off day is Sunday for the players. We're here on Sundays, and we don't usually get our players until 4 o'clock on Mondays. And we're getting them earlier today because the labs, I guess, don't start till next week. So Mondays are our long days. So the team usually comes in at 4. I usually meet with the seniors leadership group at 3:45, team meeting at 4, and I'll go through our honor roll, my comments from the game. I go through a little video with the team, and then when that's and then I'll a little look ahead to the next opponent and what the expectations of the week are, and then we'll break and we'll go through special teams, and then we go offense, defense segments, and then we're on the field. We're only on the field like an hour on Monday nights. It's a late practice, and so it's mostly meetings on Monday. Get your mind right. And then we get out on the field, and it's like an hour, 5-minute practice. So it's a short time, and then we're full pads, and then we come in on Tuesday, and we go from there. So that's our typical Monday. This coming Monday is not going to be typical because we'll have already put the game to bed on Saturday and had a little walkthrough, and we'll be a little bit ahead than where we would normally be on a Monday. So that's what it's about. Get your mind right. That's whatever just happens in the rearview mirror. Let's get focused on what we got to do moving forward. What we do good, what we do bad, what we do terrible, and let's go get better.
Now, I know you guys pride yourselves on having the same weekly preparation, but does opening with a conference opponent add just a little bit more juice to things aside from maybe a Furman or a Kent State?
Sure, absolutely, because they all count. That's we want to win our division, we want to win this league. And so it's not only winning the opener, but this is a league game, and you only get so many. They all count, and when it's over, they're going to declare a division champ, and then you got to earn the division to get yourself to Charlotte. So it's important. It's huge, and it's definitely I mean, if you're playing Texas A&M in the opener and you get beat, well, I mean, nobody's happy, but it wasn't a conference game. So you still got a chance to meet our goals, and that's what we're always about. We're about those goals right there. That's the ones we're about. Nothing else.
You mentioned seeing Eric on your TV the other night. What do you expect with him in that role, and how do you think he'll kind of run with it?
He'll be awesome. I mean, he was born for that. He's been preparing for that job for his whole life. Just really proud of him. I mean, Eric is. Very smart, very knowledgeable, was a captain here, and just one of those guys that was completely committed to excellence, in every area of his life, and just a guy I'm really proud of. So it's really cool to just I'm getting older. Like, dang, I got players on TV. It's just wild. I think Spiller's going to do the game. I think Spiller's the Rodney Williams this week. I think he's doing the. Is that right, Don? Is that right, Don?
Yeah, me and Don and CJ.
And CJ. So I mean, what a trio that is. That's going to be awesome. I might actually go back. I never listened to y'all. I might go back and listen. I might have to actually listen. I get it on the highlights, the highlight videos, but I might have to go back. Where is Don? Is he in here? I don't know if he's in here. I might have to go back and actually listen to that. That's going to be some. We told CJ we knew he had a face for radio. That was what. That's what I think it was my brother that told him that last night. He just cracked up laughing. But anyway, not you, Kelly. He has a face for radio. You definitely not.
Who's going to be the Feinbaum of the ACC?
I have no idea. I think you'd be a great candidate. I nominate you, Larry. I think you'd be awesome. It'd be good. Have somebody needs to have some fun.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right, guys. Thank y'all.
Downstairs is new.
It's a good question. I don't know. Who's the guy?